it gets to something that you and I've talked about before. You have the McDonald's principle. Tell people about the McDonald's principle.
In these sort of scenarios where things go wrong, you can see people getting irritated, people getting angry, and often rightly so. And I used to notice this at the McDonald's drive-through, where you'd go and order your food, you'd grab the bag, you're in a rush, you've got the kids in the back, you drive off, you get halfway wherever you're going to, or you get home, you open the bag, and it's the wrong order. So everyone gets angry, frustrated. And this is where I call it the McDonald's principle now. So when I go to McDonald's, I'll go in there, place my order, expecting it to be wrong. So when it comes out and I get the tray, I look at it. If it's wrong, I feel happy because I was right suspecting that and I can correct it there and then. Or if it's right, I'm even happier because I'm elated that they got the job right. And I'm very pleased and I praise them for that. And likewise with the drive-through. They hate me because I'll open the bag and I'll stick my nose in the bag and check it all. What are you doing? Just checking everything's there. Oh, well, of course it is. And then you go, well, this is missing. Oh, yeah, sorry. So that principle of this will be done wrong, it's an awful thing to have to think, but it's a sort of way we've been forced, I think, to now the level of service. And we all talk about customer service. The best customer service is no customer service because you don't need it.
Right.
But how often do we see customer service now where you ring up, oh, dial 1 for this, and then you spend half an hour on a phone, end up talking to a chat bot who tells you to go and look on the website that then tells you to call the same number you just called an hour ago. Very rarely do you even get somebody, a live individual, quickly talking and understanding what your problem is. So there is this this built-up frustration I sense people getting because it's pretty much everywhere you go. Everything, transport, shops, service, buying things, deliveries. The whole comedy of Amazon and Hermes deliveries, just leaving things randomly outside people's houses or getting stolen, throwing them over the gates. And it goes back to, you said, people don't give a fuck. And why is that? Where are we at today that makes people just not care to the level that we'd expect?
Well, I think there's several things at play here. I think one is that I think you have to separate the individual from the institution. So there's institutions that don't give a fuck. And a great example is cable companies, internet companies, phone companies, with their, giving people, 4-hour windows when someone will show up and then not showing up on time like that, and, and if you talk to them, and we've had some of those clients, if you talk to them, they'll say, well, it's so hard for us to schedule, to stick to a schedule, because we don't know how long it's going to take for an installer to get somewhere and stuff like that. Okay. But you're making your problem your customer's problem. And I think that that's a problem there, is that organizations not giving a fuck about their customers and making their problems their customers' problems. So, you see so many examples of that. You saw that, with the whole, what was it, Lufthansa with the
wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah, the Lufthansa thing with the Apple
AirTags tracking the bags. Yeah.
And instead of saying, "Wow, we have a problem where our luggage system is broken down," getting mad at the customers for tracking their bags, for having the audacity to track their bags and try to find them themselves. There are ways that you could deal with this. We live in an era of amazing technology. Companies that have these 4-hour windows could have a system that, text, you when the service guy who's coming to your house is leaving the job that they're on now. I worked with a company that did that.
Yeah.
They send you, like, this is your window, but we'll give you a refined time as the day goes on. And sure enough, you got a little text message saying, right, you're the person who's going to be servicing your equipment has just arrived at their next job. They will be done in approximately this amount of time. Yeah. Okay, so I know it's going to take them at least 2 hours to do that, it says, so I'm going to go have lunch. It's fine. I don't need to wait around for that.
Exactly.
Then, they're wrapping up at their last job. Then, they just finished their last job and they're 28 minutes from your house. And those are simple things to implement. And they totally, they go from making their problem your problem to helping you understand their system. It still doesn't change how their system works. So the one is the organizational thing. The other is the personal thing, though. And I think a lot of people, I think it's related to quiet quitting. I think it's related to the Great Resignation. I think it's related to a lot of bigger issues is individuals just don't take pride in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They don't take their job seriously. They don't act professional about their profession. I think all of these things come into play about it. And it's sad because, you know, you and I are the same age, and I think it's not just, you know, looking at the past with rose-colored glasses. There was a time when people really took pride in their work, particularly like tradespeople and stuff. They really took pride in doing a good job.
Yeah.
And you don't see that very much anymore.
No, I know. You know, my 3 rules. I mean, my first rule, always do the right thing. And my second rule is if you're going to do something, do it right. And I've always had that sort of instilled in me as a young kid. I instill that in my own children. So whether I'm delivering a class with you, whether I'm controlling fast jet airplanes in my previous career, whether I'm sweeping the yard, I will do that to the best of my ability and do a great job. And I've always instilled that into my kids. Like they cut corners. I'm like, why are you doing that for? You know, you're going to have to come back to do that again, or somebody's going to have to come back and do that. So do it right the first time. Do it well. A, you get pride in doing it, whatever it is you're doing. And B, it sets that sort of standard that this is how I operate. And whatever it is I'm doing in life, I'm operating to a bar that is set high and it's good and it's quality. And if you apply that in both your workplace, in your relationships, in friendships, it just gives off a very different tone to what we're seeing now. And I often wonder with a lot of the things today is, do people think it's beneath them? You know, if someone says to me, hey, Marcus, go and sweep the yard. It's way below my pay grade. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to go and do a shitty job just because I shouldn't be doing this, to show you how bad I'm doing this, because it shouldn't be me. And you often sort of get that attitude, and I don't take that. I don't accept that. Do what you're doing. You choose to be there. You're getting paid, or whatever it is you're doing. You choose to be there. Now, this isn't breaking rocks in the chain gang from prison, you know, on a day out. You're there by choice, and therefore do whatever it is you're doing to the best of your ability. Why would you not?
You're so right. And I mean, the same thing, you know, I mean, this is something I learned from my grandfather. His principle was, if you're going to, a thing worth doing is worth doing well. That's what he used to always tell me when I was a little kid. And, you know, I remember, you know, I'd be hanging out at his knee in his workshop or something like that. And I'd want to go fishing or something like that. And I'd be like, let's go, Grandpa. And he's like, no, I got to finish this up. Got to clean up my mess here. I'm like, but we can clean that up later, you know? And he's like, no, you know, and his whole thing that he used to always say was, if a thing's worth doing, it's worth doing right. And, you know, it's so true. And we try to apply that in our business. You know, fortunately, we don't make a lot of mistakes. But when we have in the past, we overcorrect in terms of making it right to people and stuff like this. You know, we screwed up somebody once, or, you know, had a problem registering for one of our courses. It got screwed up. They got upset because they didn't get into the course. We not only gave them that course for free, we gave them the entire series for free, because we recognized that they had been inconvenienced by that. That's how, I mean, to me, that's not even over and above. That's just like how standard operating. Yeah.
And this is whatever business you're in out there, if you're interacting with customers, right? If you don't want to lose them, we all screw up. We all make mistakes. Things happen. It's the way you respond with that customer that will mean they're going to come back again. And often, if you give a lower level of service, but you're an excellent interacting individual and people enjoy coming there, they will go to you rather than somewhere else where they get a badass attitude, but a better sandwich or a better, you know, because people want to interact with people who are friendly, personable, make them feel welcome. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you're walking into the bank to draw cash out, whether you're going for a coffee, whatever, whether you're walking through a turnstile at a football stadium. The person there makes a massive difference. And what I really love is when you're in those events where you expect the drudgery, whether you're going to a bar and the bouncer's outside and like, you know, they're going to be horrible. When you get somebody who's overly nice and polite and fun and just enjoying themselves, it makes a huge difference.
Right.
It really does. And you feel great. I went to a gig with my kids not long ago, and you're queuing up to go in, and you can see all these dreary people ready to search you. And then there's some young dude at the end, and he was just, hey, are you excited tonight, kids? So cool you're coming with your dad, and this is going to be an amazing gig, and I've heard it twice already, and I'm so pumped, and you guys are going to go in there and have the best night of your life. And we just walked in there like, this is amazing. I can't wait. Whereas everyone else was like, you know, it's like going on holiday, isn't it? That part, for me, going on a holiday, getting there is part of the travel experience. Right. Going through the airport, the aircraft. And if everybody you meet on the way is some dreary, miserable life sucker who doesn't give a fuck, then by the time you get on the aircraft, you're like, oh, God,
Right.
just all the fun's gone.